Okay, to sharpen a chainsaw chain is very simple. First, get your angle with your fingers. Then pull back just a little bit. Take the file through at a 10-degree back slope on the file. You want your hand to be down 10 degrees from the chain. Go through, turn, lift. Through, turn, lift. Continue to go through, turn, lift until you have a good edge on the top of your cutter. When you get a good edge on top of your cutter, and you can tell that by feeling basically the top of the cutter when it feels like it's aggressive. Don't cut your hand on the top. Just feel and tell when it's an aggressive edge on top. Then you have your cutter properly filed. When you get done with one side, take the chain around, and it's basically the same. Just get your fingers up against and pull back, and it's through, turn, lift, through, turn, lift, through, turn, lift, through, turn, lift. Remember always to hold a 10-degree back slope, and then through, turn, lift. Okay, cut that part. When you get the cutters one halfway down on the chain, you take a small size file. This is a 3/16. This is a 5/32. You take a small size file and just go in, and the same principle. Just 10-degree back slope, through, turn, and lift up on the cutter. And that polishes the top of the cutter and doesn't cut into the the tie straps on your cutter. So it's just through, turn, lift, through, turn, lift. There's nothing harder about it. It just takes a little practice. Okay, now for your depth gauges. Once you've sharpened the chain, do not do this until you've sharpened it, because you do not know how low you're going to cut them down until the chain has been sharpened. Then you take your depth gauge, which is right here, a gauge which fits over your tooth, place it on, pull your chain into it. Now this is very critical. Pull your chain in so that your file won't jump too much. Take your file, put it down on top, and go over it. And that should take your depth gauges down to where they need to be. You should have a depth gauge that is set to your manufacturer's recommendations. You should check it each time you file. That way you always know that you're cutting the right size chip. The depth gauge controls the chip that comes out from the cutter. If you don't have your depth gauge right, your chip won't be right, and your chain won't cut. For the gauges, you take off 5/64 of the back of the tooth. You mark it, take your Dremel tool, the same way you would do the rough out chain. And just very easily take it off. Once you get one side done, and you need to be careful because those are hot, you grab the other side, turn it around. You never work from the inside of the cutter because the Dremel tool will catch and pull you into the cutter.